I have another acquisition I picked up this week. It's other than that video where I did basically a thing of my whole collection of guns. This is another Steyr M95 Carbine. It has Budapest on a receiver. M95 has an S modification stamped on the barrel. So it was a 8x56 millimeter. It's been stamped once with a date for World War I and then re-stamped with another reissue date here for 1932. This also doesn't have any import markings on it, so this was brought into the country before 1986. It does have a unit marking, PB5 and rifle 298 on the back here on the buttstock. The overall condition is very good. The bore slugged close to what it should be, but there's some other things about this we have to investigate a little further. But also, when I made the video, I went out and shot this earlier today, so we're going to put in the part where we shoot it and see how it shoots. I also inserted a couple clips about cleaning these guns, about getting the cosmoline out of all the little internal parts and disassembling it. So that's going to come after this, and then we're going to have where we take it out and put a couple rounds downrange. Okay, here we have our carbine disassembled. The one we were shooting today, and I should make a video on cleaning these and caring for these guns. We'll look a little closer at some of the internal parts here. As you can see, they're all pretty well coated in grime and that crud, cosmoline. It's been up underneath in there for years, even this inside the magazine. See all that grime and stuff in there. You kind of totally disassemble the gun, get the action, you know, clean down up inside there. There's a lot of grime and grit. And that cosmoline left on there, there's some of it here, it'll actually start to eat away, like right here, and pit and rust. You got to break that off, get it cleaned up. Down here at the barrel joint, you can see where it starts to get all in there and starts corroding and rusting a little. And most people, when they buy these guns, they just clean the barrel out a little in the bolt, and that's about it. They never break it down and get all the small parts. And as you shoot it, the grime will build up, like on the trigger and other things and that. And you know, use your, like I said in the tool video, get your good screwdriver set. I got some it's like penetrating oil and rust breaker. Sometimes you may have to soak the parts overnight in this stuff to get them loose. And then once you get them all cleaned up, you use I use fine steel wool or a little bronze brush I have somewhere, and knock all the heavy, nasty stuff off and just clean it all up. And then when I'm done, I happen to like this Shooter's Choice rust preventative. I use that. And if you're working with these old antique guns and caring for them, you should take the time to, you know, like in the barrel bands, you'll get rust up inside there. You know, clean them all up. It's like down in here. You know, you get that rust preventive on there. So you clean all the stuff up, and the guns will probably function better. And it's still, as antiques and that, you should kind of care for them somewhat. We'll take another look at this when we get it all cleaned up. Okay, I'm kind of slipping in this thing about cleaning with these guns because it kind of is important and a lot of people neglect it. I can make a video on taking one of these guns all apart and showing you the different techniques in that. I found my bronze brush, and this here, I bought this in a, you can get these at any, place that sells cleaning supplies. It's a little nylon brush and then a little tiny one, and that one's pretty handy for getting in tight spots. And they also have a little plastic pick. You can go and like scrape the grease out of corners and that with this thing. Sometimes it's heavy and built on, and I use a small flat bladed screwdriver to get down in there and get some of the nasty crap like out of the crevices and down in there. Now you see it's all clean. Got all the gunk out of there, all the crud and grime out of that channel. Got most of it off, and you see where it's under the wood line, moisture in that, and then it hardens also. That cosmoline will get hard like a rock. You have to almost scrape it off. See here, it got to where, and that's what happens over the years when these guns just sit somewhere. Now we got our small parts. I put some oil on it, but see, we got this, all the gunk and cosmoline cleaned out of there, out of the trigger mechanism, the sear and all that, off the trigger itself. Got it clean, looking like metal again. Got all the gunk, and see it built up right. The cosmoline gets right up under the wood line there. It starts to create rust in that. And that was hard. I had to scrape that off. It was up in here. We got this all cleaned out and that. And then here the barrel bands. For some reason, rust always collects. No matter what. Whenever I pull any of these old guns apart, the rust gets on the inside of these. So you got to give them a little dousing. And another few other products I use, like for the oil, you can use carburetor cleaner. Get that at Walmart. Or WD-40 loosens the cosmoline up. This just has a more powerful spray to it. And I got the rust preventive and the break free. Then once you get the parts cleaned up, you give it a spray of protective coating, oil them up good, and wipe off the residue, and then reassemble the gun. Now, if anyone needs a video on how to clean the cosmoline and dirt out of these old guns, just request it. If I get enough requests, I'll make a video just on all the different little things and techniques and cleaning fluids I use and little tricks to get these things cleaned up. And I'm just wedging this in with a gun video because I had to do it today, and plus it's kind of something that's, if you're working with these old guns, it's kind of important to do this. Okay. Now we have another carbine. This one is a Budapest M95 with the S, so it's a 8556. This gun appears not to have an import mark on it, and it looks like it's either a bring back or an old surplus gun. This gun has not been re-arsenaled, and the bore was a little crusty from the corrosive ammo, but it is close to the bore diameter of .330 thousandths. So it should shoot good, and hopefully if this gun was issued, the sights should be on, so we should get it on the paper pretty good. Alright, this here, as you can see, that's not a bad group. A lot of that was probably me shaking like crazy. Aiming right here, so we're just at 50 yards. A hair to the right and low. Which, this rifle here is shot high. If we go to the 100-yard range, it'll shoot so high it'll miss the top of the backstop, and you'll never know where the hell you are unless you're aiming like at the bottom. This one here is good enough. We're going to take it out to the 100-yard range, and we're going to do some work at 100 yards with it, see what it does. So we know that this shoots to the right and slightly over 50. So we're going to give this a try at 100 and see if we can get on the paper. And we did. Okay. Now for our carbine, knowing it's shot, basically aiming here at 50 yards, shooting down in here, kind of about an inch low. So I was aiming up to the left and adjusting how high I was shooting. And I guess it just shooting all morning. I'm kind of tired. First string was kind of down in here. You know, kind of guessing where to aim up because I was aiming like about here to get this. And I guess I probably pulled, but consistently pulled again with the sight picture up here. Nice string, but it was consistent. So the gun has fairly good accuracy. These flyers are probably me just twisting, or that rest isn't very steady. I'm going to have to get a good rest of my own that I can adjust. And I probably just pulled off on these two flyers here. Getting a bit tired. Okay.